Hello, everybody, and today I'm here to review The Demon's Quest for Batman the Animated Series. So I'm doing both parts since I don't know if this is the last two-parter of the show, but these two episodes are easily some of the best of the Batman animated series. That is the first time we see Ra's al Ghul in full action. He got a little cameo in the one episode I talked about a few weeks back. But this is where we get to fully see him just commit his evil acts in this show. This is where he orchestrates the kidnapping of Robin as he gets home from patrol as Robin. But he decides to sneak his way into the Batcave where Batman gets a letter from him, and he's wondering how he even got into the building, the Batcave. But he said he has his ways, of course. But this is where Batman is forced to team up with Ra's al Ghul to basically go through the trials of the demon's head and see if Batman is worthy of being a part of Ra's al Ghul's cult of the League of Assassins, where he goes up against a ninja, and of course Batman wins the fight, and we of course see Ra's al Ghul's devious side when he's in combat. But when Batman does fight a panther in the episode, and it reminds me of Batman versus Black Panther, I'm not sure why. But he manages to take down the panther with his mask. He actually takes it off and just grapples the thing all the way up like a blanket. But Batman's able to escape and go through a few more traps until he does find Robin. And he's, of course, tied up. And it's revealed that Ra's orchestrated the whole thing, and Batman already knew it. He already knew that Ra's was planning this whole time, even though he tried to trick him into thinking Talia was kidnapped too. But because of this, he was able to find it all out. But of course, Talia's fine, and it's actually cute to see them reunite, since this is the closest Batman has to having a good relationship. But of course, he doesn't want to commit to it because Talia's association with Ra's al Ghul. But once Ra's offers Batman to join him, he of course says no, but Ra's ends up having a heart attack. And throughout the whole episode, he ends up like being sick the whole time. And this is where we get introduced to the Lazarus Pit, where it literally resurrects Ra's al Ghul as he is slowly dying. But of course, once he's thrown into the pits, he of course just like goes insane, and he's able to pick up Talia, and that's where it does leave off in a cliffhanger, where we do see Batman and Robin in part 2. They're basically able to escape where Ra's is after he realizes that Batman doesn't want to join him. He's able to come back to normal and let Talia go. He doesn't drop her, of course. But once Batman refuses, like I said, they just run for it. They have to get out of the Lazarus Pits through the ropes. And they end up jumping into the mountains area. And these shots were honestly used in when the show decided to revamp into like the Batman and Robin show, whatever they wanted to call it, The Adventures of Batman and Robin. But the two managed to escape, but they have to make their next move, since Ra's al Ghul is planning a bunch of horrific things, as Batman goes to like the desert area. I forget what the place is called, the different continent that they're on, but they managed to take a plane after some investigation. In this episode, for part 2 of the show, this is where big things get really good, as Batman is forced to fight Ra's al Ghul, as he plans to destroy the world through his Lazarus Pits and using a satellite to take out the whole world. But once Batman does get captured after fighting Ubu, which I think is a hilarious name for the bodyguard for Ra's, Batman ends up having to force to fight Ra's al Ghul in a sword fight, and this was honestly used in the one comic cover where Batman's defeated and Ra's al Ghul is in the shadows of the comic. I think you know what I'm talking about. But this leads to a fight between the two, and Batman's forced to fight shirtless as he doesn't want Batman to use any tricks. No belt, no shirt, nothing. But he does respect Batman by letting him keep his mask. But once the two do fight, it's a pretty interesting sword fight. It was definitely better than the fight Batman had with the ninja all the way back in the earlier episodes. But Batman manages to defeat Ra's after he trips and almost falls into the pits. But once Batman literally tries to grab his hand, he just decides to just fall into the pits, and we think he's gone. But we know he's fine. But Batman manages to have a last kiss with Talia. This is, like I said, this is the closest he had to having a serious relationship, but he decided to blow it, as the episode does end with the reveal that Ra's is alive. So this episode was definitely easily the best. It was action-packed. It was different from the usual stories we get. It was also awesome to see David Winter, who unfortunately did pass away more recently. He played Ra's al Ghul. When I think of him, my favorite Ra's al Ghul is definitely this one for sure, since David Winter has a really good accent when it comes to Ra's al Ghul. I did see him in other movies that were coming out at the time, like Titanic, Scream 2, but I guess he had some time to do some voice work, especially for this show. But this is easily one of the best episodes because of Ra's al Ghul and Talia al Ghul. It honestly shows the concept of the character, where he basically is just a crazy dude who just wants to dump himself into pits and just resurrect himself constantly. I think this isn't the last time we see the character. There's a few more episodes. He doesn't show up in the new Batman Adventures, but he did show up in the Superman animated series with one of the Batman crossovers. But this episode's definitely a 10 out of 10. I don't know what the next episode is, since I think there's only a few episodes left until we get to season 2 of the show. So anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.